Hi guys, with teacher unions balloting for strike action over pay and conditions, the ball is clearly in the court of the Tory government. But instead of engaging with unions to try and fix the problems they have created over the last 13 years, the Education Secretary here starts banging on about inflation, which is, according to the Bank of England, expected to drop this year to about 5%, which makes the whole "we can't pay higher wages because of inflation" a stupid argument. Have a listen to this.
A survey of the NES-UWT union found that 54% of teachers are cutting back on their weekly food shop, 40% have slashed spending on essential household goods, 1 in 10 have taken second jobs to make ends meet. So if things are okay, why are we hearing this?
Well, the independent pay review body actually does take into account a lot of factors, but clearly inflation and the spike in inflation has had a massive impact on everybody, not just in our country actually, but everybody is feeling the pinch.
Okay, everybody's feeling the pinch. Isn't it something else when you hear a government minister who's earning more than £100,000 a year telling teachers, in this case, who are cutting back on their food shop, cutting back on essentials, taking up a second job in order to make ends meet, that everyone is feeling the pinch. And then she said also that the independent pay review body takes into account many factors. Notice she didn't say takes into account inflation, because obviously it's not. So her whole argument here is we need to deal with inflation, but the independent pay review body doesn't seem to take into account inflation. At the moment, it's not. The teachers in this case are talking about better pay and conditions. It's also important to talk about the conditions because conditions have not improved over the last 13 years, gotten worse, and that's why so many teachers are leaving the profession.
Inflation eats away at the pound in your pocket. It makes everybody feel poorer. That's why the number one thing that we're trying to do is to halve inflation this year. And you know, if we can go beyond that, we will. So we're trying to tackle the key problem. The core problem is inflation. That's what we're trying to tackle.
But that's not going to be fixed quickly, is it? So in fact, what you're proposing, according to the teachers, is a real-term pay cut.
Well, what we've done is inflation has started to come down, but clearly we don't want to bake inflation in.
Okay. So last year, the Tory government were saying, we have no control over inflation. Inflation is something external. It's because of the war in Ukraine or because of international energy prices. Nothing we can do. Now they're claiming that, yeah, we're going to bring down inflation. Why didn't you bring down inflation last year if you have the power to do it? So when inflation is rising, nothing to do with us. But inflation has been predicted to fall to about 5% by the Bank of England. That was a prediction last year. Excuse me. Now you're in control. You're the one who's deciding. Well, which is it? You either have control over inflation or you don't. And inflation falling to 5% still means prices are 5% higher than last year. And you're asking the teachers here to take a pay cut. You're not taking a pay cut. You're on over £100,000 a year. The disconnect here, there are teachers who are leaving because they can't continue to work with these conditions. They can't continue to work with a pay cut. And government ministers are talking about, yeah, we're dealing with inflation. We need to fight inflation. You know, this is a minister who cheered on Liz Truss, who trashed the economy. Disgraceful. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.